So welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you guys are here today, and today we are going to be talking about where I've been for the past 6 months, because I know I started this YouTube channel and then maybe it was 2 months in, 3 months in, I just stopped posting videos. And so I just want to do an update type of video and just share just the different phases of the summer, because I went through a little bit of a depressive episode, and it prevented me from doing a lot of things. So I just want to share like the different phases of that summer. It feels like more has happened in 3 months than in a year. So in this video, I'm going to chop everything up so you can skip different sections. You can go to the sections that resonate with you. There's going to be a section that's about Mia. Anyways, Mia, chill out. Chill. You can be in the video. You can be in the video. You can be in the video. Mia, what the world? Yeah. I don't know what happened. Mia. Okay, I'm taking you inside. Come on. What the world? I'm okay. This depressive episode, even though it was an episode, different things spiraled to kind of get to that. And it all started in March. And so, it's definitely crazy to think that different things can happen and it can lead to different things as well. It's like one thing led to one thing, led to another, and then eventually this summer, that's when all those things got to me, and I stopped believing in myself. I stopped finding joy in different things. It wasn't a good time. I lost sight of who I was. I haven't talked about this stuff in a little bit, so I'm a little bit nervous, but let's go back in time to March. So March was my birthday. That was when I turned 17. My birthday was March 20th. And that was also a time where my stepdad was being sentenced. I'm not going to go too much into that background information, but that was a time where I got to see him for the first time in about a year. So at that time, it was a time where I got to speak up and speak about how his actions had affected me and my family. And so at that time, I was seeing him in the courtroom, and when he walked in like smiling and just acting like everything was a joke. And that just did something to me. It was like, I thought that when I saw him, he was going to be changed. He was going to take accountability for his actions, but he didn't. So he said that he did the things that he did, but he kept using terms like alleged and just crazy things. It was just crazy. But when I spoke up at his, I'm sorry, I haven't talked about these things in so long. But when I spoke up, I was basically just crying and having kind of a panic attack, but still being able to say everything that I was able to say. So as I was shaking, as I was crying, I was telling him how he had affected my brother's life, how he's affected my sister and me. And I asked him, I was like, do you think this is a joke? And he actually wasn't allowed to talk, but they let him say no and everything. So after that, I was so proud of myself. Like, I wanted to call a couple people, but I chickened out. But I was just so proud of myself, because I was like, I just spoke to this guy who hurt me in so many ways, who had hurt my family, who I was scared to speak to. And I was able to say everything that I needed to say while having this panic attack. So I was proud of myself. But also, on the other hand, I was coming to terms with the fact that I was almost going to be an adult and I don't have anything together. Like, at that time I really felt like I didn't have any growth, and my life was a mess. That's what it felt like. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I feel so behind. And so every night I would be up just thinking about all of the things and the dreams and desires I had when I was little, because when I was little I was so inspired and I had so many dreams and visions, all these goals that I had when I was little, and how I didn't, my life didn't look like how I planned it out to be. Like when I was in second grade, I had a whole vision board. I had plans and dreams for myself, and I wasn't living up to them. And I was like, over the span of 5 years, I should have changed. I should have been a better person. I was thinking about how I still hadn't been consistent and my time management wasn't the best. And I was just thinking about all these different things and aspects of who I am and how it didn't align with what I thought would be my life. So that just led into a lot of different thoughts, a lot of anxious thoughts, a lot of anxiety. I was just overwhelmed with it all. And so over time, those overwhelming thoughts telling me that I wasn't good enough, that I was a failure, that I'm behind in life, but all these different overwhelming thoughts started manifesting in my body. So I started to actually have panic attacks and reactions and symptoms of anxiety. There was one day that I woke up and I just couldn't breathe. Like I could breathe, but it was like there was this pressure right here, so it was super hard to breathe and talk. And I ended up going to the doctor, and they didn't see me because they basically said it wasn't that important. And I didn't realize that like that was a symptom of anxiety, so I thought that something bigger was happening, but it was just anxiety. And then at work I was having a lot of trouble, having panic attacks often, and just different things like that. And on the other hand, I was also just feeling like I was missing out a lot, like with my dad. And I was just missing that father's embrace. Like I was missing, I just felt like I was missing something, if that makes sense. I'm going to pause for a second because I'm not sure if all of this is aligning and making sense. Dang, this is kind of harder than I thought, reflecting over all these different things that happened, because it's September right now and a lot happened. So it's like, how do I put this all together? But yeah, basically from March to, let's say, May, it was just me spiraling into anxiety and struggling with just overwhelming thoughts, anxious symptoms, and for some reason I was beating myself up. I was really upset with myself because it felt like I had so much healing and growth in 2021, and I was just backsliding. Like it felt like I was going right back into my anxiety and my depression from last year. And so I hated myself. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see myself the same way. I saw someone completely different. I was losing sight of who I am, the things that I love, my passions. And so that just continued to spiral until it became depression. And so I think May, that's when the kind of depressive episode started. It started to become extremely difficult to take care of myself, to take showers, to brush my teeth, to do these simple things that that are normal, that are normally easy. They're just habits. And so that's when I started to realize that I was kind of spiraling into that depressive episode type thing again. I was becoming numb again and just really struggling with myself, struggling to regain the love that I had. I hope this is all making sense, because for some reason it's kind of hard to talk about this. Like normally it's super easy for me to talk about things that have happened in the past. Like even I had an essay the other day that I was supposed to talk about just different childhood things, different childhood events. And when I looked at my childhood, I just saw trauma and I just saw pain. And so I was like, I was so overwhelmed by that essay. And I'm normally amazing at writing essays, especially when I'm reflecting on the past. But just lately, when I reflect on the past, I only see the negative things. And so I was having like a mental breakdown just doing this easy project. It actually wasn't even an essay. I was trying to overdo the whole assignment. I emailed my teacher after I was done with my mental breakdown and just crying and be like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, all you have to do is just a series of stories. It doesn't have to be traumatic, just some small little stories that impacted you in some way. And so this is for early childhood development education. So I decided to choose stories that teachers impacted me in some way. And I was like, okay. After I took a breath a minute to just think about it and reflect on it, I was able to get that assignment done. But talking about these things for me right now is not easy, but I don't want to give up on this YouTube channel. I know I've been gone for 6 months, but I know that God is going to do something with this, and I know that I'm a voice. Like when I was praying a couple weeks ago, God was reminding me that the calling He has for me right now, especially for this YouTube channel, is to be His voice and build His house. In the build His house section, I could talk about that for a long time, but I'm not going to talk about that. But right now, it's about being His voice. I had this image for this channel that it would be this perfect channel where I would be teaching you guys and just pouring into you guys all the time and just helping you guys grow in your relationships with God. And I can still do that by showing you guys the things that I struggle with. And I want us to come together as a community and grow together. Like, I had this idea for this YouTube channel that it was going to be perfect and that everything was going to flow perfectly. And I don't know. I had this idea of a perfect channel and me just teaching you guys and just allowing you to have a safe space. But I'm realizing that creating that safe space is also sharing my own experiences and my pains and the things that stress me out and the trauma and the hardships. Like, sharing all those things with you is going to create that safe space for all of us. So I think I just need to throw away those expectations, and I need to throw away the idea of having a perfect YouTube channel, of being a perfect person, of never falling behind, never having those moments of stress. Like, those things are gonna happen. And so I want to bring you guys along with that. No, ow, that doesn't, Mia, we're not doing this again. We're not doing it again. Ow, ow, that hurts. You don't do that. No. Oh my gosh. Here we go again. I'm nervous. I really am. Like, I don't want to talk about this summer. I don't want to talk about any of it. But I really think that this is going to be important for me and for you guys to just hear what was going on, so then I can just start over fresh with this YouTube channel and we can really move on and we can grow together. Because in this depressive episode of the summer, I really isolated myself. Instead of going to people, going to my friends, like, I had many unread messages because I was just, I don't know, I just didn't have the energy to really talk to people. And I was afraid. Like, I felt like because I had no value to bring, then the people around me wouldn't want to be around me, if that makes sense. Because I felt like I had nothing left to give. But I'm realizing that for this channel and in my life, like, I'm always going to be growing, and there's always going to be something. I may be stressed out over something. I may struggle with some past trauma, but I don't need to push everybody away when that happens. And I don't want to do that with this YouTube channel either. When it comes to this YouTube channel, we can grow together. Like, when I'm in those different periods, if I'm having a depressive episode, or if I'm stressed, or if I'm in pain, I'm just going to talk to you guys about it. And like I said, we can grow together, and that's what I want for this channel. I want this channel to be an open and honest channel. That's what I was trying to say before the wind and the airplanes decided to interrupt me. I really don't want to keep pushing people away. I don't want to push you guys away, and I want to do all the things that God is calling for me to do, no matter what happens in my life. Mia! Mia, come here.
Strawberry on my lips and chocolate fingertips.
Hey Sarah!
I can feel the beat.
How are you?
Running through the speakers.
I'm really good. I saw that your daughter was back.
Blue skies, blue waves every day.